Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Please tell me if you can hear me well. I think I hope everyone is doing well. Great, great, excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to give it a couple of moments, maybe 2 more minutes before I go into the uh, explanation of what we will be talking about today. Excellent. Just give it 1 more minute for everyone to join. I have a lot more gray hairs on my beard now. Time has gone by. Let's see. Just checking some things here. And let's see. Give it 1 more minute. All right. Yeah, that's the gray hairs. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get started. So there's been some really good things that have happened recently. Uh, After we did our filing, I started looking for uh, talking to institutional funds and investors so we can do our larger launch that we want to do and promote the company in a much larger at a much larger scale leading up to our listing. I'm happy to say that we already got response back just recently from the SEC in regards to our filing. They had four main points that they wanted to, just additional explanation on, which we're responding to today. So that's going smoothly. Usually that's a process when you do a filing, Reg A filing or an S1 filing through that 1 month to 2 month period. The SEC comes back and they ask questions or want answers based on what you wrote in there or different explanations, etc. So it's normal the back and forth. So the good thing is there was just a few things that they wanted additional clarification on. They wanted to know things like more about our pharmacy partners and how we plan on paying out healthcare professionals. Just very easy questions to answer. So we're answering those questions in more detail, and we hope that will be the that will be all that they want to know additional for them to approve it. And this basically leads up to so basically with our filing, everything's going very well. We've gotten the within the time frame that we were expecting to get responses from. We got their feedback. We're responding to that now, and it should be a quick process. It should be a quick process for us to have our Reg A approved. What's going to happen after that is once it's approved, like I mentioned in the previous AMAs, we're going to do an upgrade, and that means adding everything that's happened in this last month or the period before our Reg A is finally approved, we're going to update it. And that is, we're updating it with our contracts, with additional funding, and with our plans to list. That upgrade is the upgrade to an S1. So all those things will come out on there, and that'll be done in our next filing. So we will be doing that in our reporting as has to be done, updating with any new additional information, many of the things that I've talked about here, and then that'll be upgraded to an S1. The S1 will be the last document that will be need it to be approved for us to list. So that process usually takes from 1 to 2 months as well, depending on the S1. The benefit of having done a 1A first is that the 1A essentially is, I would say, depending on your perspective, but it's part 1 of an S1, so 80% of an S1. So updating it to a S1 filing, since the previous one is approved, speeds up the process for the S1 to be approved. So that's the path that we're on right now. Now, this has allowed us to get new investment in, and it's a very positive scenario because people can already see clearly that there's public that we're on the path to become a public company and list on the NASDAQ, and that allowed us to get new funding, and because of that, there's always conditions that come when investment funds offer funding, and really right now it's all about timing. So what we want to do, the objective right now, is to do a big launch and to promote as much as we can, do an enormous PR marketing campaign. We already have the PR part handled. There's already a lot of media that started to come out, and that's coming up in the next weeks. I'm also doing podcasts, interviews, some news organization interviews that I've been basically postponing because of the filing. So now that we have the filing done, all these things are starting to take effect. We had the article on USA Today come out. There's a couple of other articles. I just got recently contacted by New York Magazine. They want to do an interview. There's a lot of feedback and positive kind of outreach that's happened because of the articles that have come out. But that's just the beginning. We're just basically starting with this. And this is why I think it's important that while we go through this process, we see where there's moments of benefit, and we can work hard towards fulfilling the objective, which is doing a really large launch and promoting the company a lot on many aspects. We've had talks with different marketing companies. Just recently had a talk with Quintin's and talking about the strategy that she had built with her team to market our services and market MTC and market all the blockchain aspects. So those are things that we're currently doing behind the scenes. People don't see, but there's a lot of work that's being done. And that leads us to one thing that I wanted to, we thought about this recently. I said, this is the right moment to do this. And I think we essentially have to scale up the price of the shares leading up to the listing. What I wanted to do was, I've always thought, I've always been very grateful to have the community. I was telling someone just yesterday a story of when times got tough, I reached out to the community, and we always had support. I always got support from the community for our plans, and that led us to where we are today. So I've always had the community close to heart, and that's why I'm here doing these AMAs, and we all go through this journey together in a sense. The feedback loop has always been great. So and it's been very important into how we built things. Um, right now, we have to scale up the pricing for shares, but it doesn't. It still means that if shares are sold or investors come in and purchase shares at a price of lower than the target listing price, then it means that there's a big upside for investors when they come in now. So to make it even more attractive, and to allow us to reach that goal faster without having to depend on the requirements that institutional investors are requiring from us right now, I decided to put up some collateral based on to basically guarantee the investment for those who are interested in this. And that means that it reduces the risk factor dramatically. It's not just you're investing in Dock.com that has a great mission and they have a strong plan moving forwards and a great team, and see what happens at listing. It's more than that because I've always put my whole life is basically Dock.com. I've done everything to this. It's really hasn't been. It's never really been about the money. It's always been about achieving the goal. Obviously, money and capital is a tool to achieve the goal, but providing free basic healthcare has always been the goal, and it's been for years like this for me. So I thought, well, why not make it even more attractive for investors and allow the same terms of investment, allow an attractive purchase price, and also have it backed by collateral. So there's I've had private talks with, for example, with Gene, Greg. Some of you know him as Gene, Greg, and others from the community have reached out privately. And people have helped in different ways. And right now we're just basically on the last stretch before listing. And so everything is coming together amazingly well. It's just amazing. Some of these things have happened as they have happened. Sometimes we've received unexpected blessings. But one of the things that we want to get done is we have to get this done as fast as possible, and time is of the essence, basically, because right now our Reg A is soon to be approved. After that, we'll be doing the filing. We'll be upgrading it to an S1. Once it's upgraded to an S1, that goes through an approval, and then we list after that. So it can be a rough timeline, 4 months. Assume it may take 5 months, but roughly that's around the timeline that we're looking at right now. We still have to get the 1A approved. We still have to upgrade it to an S1, add all the additional information that we've, but the contracts and the agreements and the funding that we've achieved now to the next upgrade, and then do the S1. But that puts us in a kind of tight time schedule to do all this marketing and promotion and to do a big launch. It's still enough time for us to do a great job at it, but it's still a compact timeline. Really, 4 months they go by very quickly. So in order to achieve the goal and do a larger, I think it's worth the effort right now to put everything we have into making the launch as big as possible, to have the best growth numbers that we can have, to showcase our services, showcase the blockchain component, and to do that leading up to the listing. It's really important for us to do that now, and really just to the opportunity is there, and there's really sometimes I think whatever we put into it now in these next 4 months will be multiplied once we list, because once we list, we have access to a lot more capital, and then the ball starts rolling. But it's very important for us to have a very strong listing, and it's not only important for the company and to achieve the mission, but also to to give the best return on investment to investors. So it goes hand in hand, and that's it's very important because we're all in this together. Everyone that's purchased even a small amount of shares is invested, and we want it to be a good ROI for everyone. So that leads me to the next thing. I over the years acquired, because I'm from Mexico, I have some artwork. It's a fine art. I have some original works from Frida Kahlo. I recently got them re-authenticated by family members and the experts for Frida Kahlo experts, because my intention was to actually sell them on Sotheby's and take that money and put it into the company. So I had to talk with Alex from Flash Gas, who also is part of our development team at Dock. So it's that there's those two things, and since Flash Gas is also growing, they want to have more delivery drivers in different states. It just makes sense for us to do a larger launch and offer our services, Dock.com services, to a wider audience with quick delivery in those regions as well. And with these fine art assets, it's a very quick thing if they want to be sold because of the value that they have. During the pandemic, I've had these pieces for some time now. During the pandemic, Sotheby's sold a Frida Kahlo work. It broke records. It broke records at Sotheby's for Latin American art. They sold one painting by Frida Kahlo. For, I believe, $35 million or near it. So it broke records, and that made Frida Kahlo go up in value. And I'm a huge fan of Frida Kahlo. I used to actually study right near her house when I was living in Mexico City, and it's something that I always thought I always identified a lot with all her artwork, and the aspect of Mexican culture. And I grew up with a single mother, so my mother was always a big fan of Frida as well because of what she represents for women. And so I just thought it was so many reasons why when I had the opportunity to get these pieces, I jumped on it. And it's been one of the best investments I've done in my life, besides everything that I put into Dock.com. But ultimately, for me, all my efforts have always funneled into Dock.com and our mission, because I really don't see anything that's more important in my life than doing this. It's become my purpose in life, and I know that may sound kind of corny to some people, but it's I can say it from the heart, and I've just dedicated my life to this since I started this pursuit many years ago, and it's just it checks all the boxes for all the right reasons. And I've talked about this before. I was influenced by Jim Rohn books, and at a young age when I was in my early 20s, and then I structured my life plan, and this is what it's turned to, what is today Dock.com and what we're doing. So it doesn't matter if I have things here or there that have happened along the way. Like everybody, we do lots of other things, but all my efforts have been always focused on Dock.com and trying to achieve free basic healthcare, because having those services running, it's just it's hard to describe in words, but there's an enormous satisfaction in knowing that you're helping people in this purest form, that you're creating something that's scalable and sustainable, that has a strong business model, that's not hard to understand. Selling prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter products, and that's just something that most people, if they're not doing it, there's family members that we all need it at some point in our lives, and it's very important. It goes along with I studied medicine, and the Hippocratic Oath, of dedicating your life and helping people when they're in need. Those are the things that make what Dock.com is today, and the business model, and it makes it beautiful, and it makes it strong, and it makes it adding the blockchain component, the crypto economy, AI, doing the AI analytics, all these amazing things that we have pieced together now and assembled into the Doc.com platform. It's just amazing, So I really want to not just do a small launch and say, oh, we're working here in these different regions. I really would like for it to be as big as possible. And it also benefits us for our listing. So what I decided to do after talking with Alex is I said, okay, what do we need to do now to speed things up, to make it to make Doc.com's launch bigger, to make our listing bigger, to create more awareness of what we're doing, to draw in more patients to our services, to ultimately help more people. What do we have to do? And the conclusion was, we instead of going to the traditional route and asking investors or institutional investors for funds, and that all is a process that takes time. And since time is of the essence, I said, okay, I will put up the artworks that I have as collateral. We will offer a convertible note. The conversion price will be a higher conversion price, which we have to scale up anyways, but it'll still be very attractive for investors. And if God forbid, some crazy thing happened or something catastrophic happened and the company didn't go public for whatever reason, these artworks would over collateralize the investment, and they could be sold at Sotheby's and the money returned to investors. So I thought, well, that seems like a very logical thing to do, because we believe in it so much. I'm willing to put up, basically all the assets that I have in order to do this and to speed things up. So I wanted to run this idea initially through the community, see what people would think. Basically, how we were thinking of doing this, which we can basically wrap this up today. And this is the reason I wanted to have this AMA, just to hear feedback from everyone. What we're looking to do, we want to raise some immediately to work with marketing and PR, aside from the funds that we've already spent and they're already signed for our PR efforts and marketing efforts. We want to scale this up much faster. So do a quick injection of capital. We'll still have access to capital, additional capital, once our Reg A is approved, and then once we upgrade to the S1. So there is already capital coming. There's already commitments that I talked about the day before yesterday. There are already commitments, but I think that this could be very positive because it would offer two things. It would offer, one, an investment for people to come in that's protected by collateral, so it reduces the risk dramatically, and a big upside. So we were thinking offering a conversion price of $4 per share, and offering this to the community to start, and basically putting the artworks in a trust. The artworks have, because of the recent rise and the popularity of Frida Kahlo, they were recently appraised a lot more. I was surprised at what they were appraised at, but they're appraised at over $2 million. But let's say we would raise $1 million, have $2 million in collateral, and take an investment. People would still get their shares. The only big difference here is the collateral component, which reduces the risk dramatically. And I think it's something, yesterday, someone told me, one of our lawyers, when I ran this by him, he said, well, this sounds like an amazing opportunity, almost too good to be true. And I thought, well, it would be too good to be true if it were presented in a kind of private fashion. I think it's, if we can just make it transparent and make all the documentation and offer it publicly, then it becomes something that's real, and people need to understand the why behind it. And the why is, we want to increase the velocity of our growth. We want to reach to more, we want to create more awareness for more people, and we want to have a larger and stronger listing day with a lot more attention on the company. And ultimately that will benefit us. Not only will give us access to more capital, but it makes investors happier, and we also can treat more people. You know, the end goal is more people getting more services. So basically the terms are, we're looking for investments. They will be collateralized with the art. The art, if someone says, well, for me, it may be worth less than the 2 million that it was appraised at, you know, usually artwork tends to go up in value. That was also one of the reasons why I did this initially. But in that due case, the artwork is appraised at a higher value than the actual collateral component that we're putting in. So basically, I wanted to offer the lowest risk possible investment for investors. And if there's an investment that has collateral behind it, that reduces the risk dramatically, and I think it'd be very attractive for investors, people who want to invest larger sums. So, you know, going through these marketing campaigns, so I'll give you an example of a marketing campaign. So we had a marketing campaign, I think Quentin is here. You know, we reviewed Quentin's proposal just yesterday, and, you know, depending on the scale of it, but we're looking at a marketing campaign upwards of $600,000 just with Quentin's strategy through her company. But that's just one of the many PR and marketing efforts that we're doing. So it's not $600,000 in 1 month. I mean, that's just an enormous ad spend for us right now, but it is spread out. But we do plan, if we can increase that, if we can increase that, the amount of marketing and PR that we do in the first set of months. There's at least great case studies out there of companies that have done this and have had enormous success. You know, getting the word out, marketing our services, I think it has always been one of the critical components. I've mentioned it before. It's one of the pillars of what we have. Marketing free basic healthcare, I've always felt, has been something that's on the easier side of things. If you compare it to other types of services that are marketed or promoted, free basic healthcare, because of the nature of it, is much easier to market. But there's still a barrier, and that's mostly the barrier is mostly in educating people and making them understand that this is now available. Because especially in the U.S., it's unheard of that anyone is offering free consultations, even at a basic level, 15 minutes like what we're doing. It's unheard of. So a lot of people will still have to kind of think, you know, how is this possible? So that's why I think that initial push is necessary, you know, because once people catch on, it snowballs after that. And we've lived this in the past. I lived this in the past, even though the business model was different. When we launched services back in 2020 with the old company, you know, with the old business model, the aspect of free basic healthcare was a huge draw, and it always made people curious to try it out. So a lot of people would call in just to see if it was real. And once they realized it was real, a lot of them started calling in on a regular basis. So we learned a lot from that, and we created the business model that we have now to execute and take advantage of that. So it still is marketing and PR sensitive in a huge way, and that's what we want to increase and expand on. So I'm going to show everyone the two pieces that I have here, just so everyone has an idea. Pretty interesting. Hold on one second. I'm going to display here on the screen. One moment. One moment. I'm just getting messages simultaneously here. Share screen. We're still connected. I'm just going to show everyone here. Okay. Okay, so I think everyone should be able to hear me here. This is one of my two pieces that I have. This is actually, if you can see on the screen here, it's signed by Frida Kahlo on the top above the breasts. This piece is one of the two pieces. It's actually a painting on top of a book. The book is on socialism. It's called Socialismo by Marin Civera, the book. And as many of you may know, Frida Kahlo was part of the socialist movement, communist movement back in the 40s and 50s. And she had an affair with Leon Trotsky, who was Lenin's one of Lenin's collaborators during the Russian Bolshevik Revolution. So she painted this. She in her last years, she was bedridden, and she would have this little kind of wooden stand in front of her, and she would paint her artworks. Many of her paintings that are in the official catalog, she painted, and she also painted on several objects. So she painted on books, she painted on pamphlets, she painted on canvases, on anything she could get her hands on. But it's incredible the kind of details that you can see. This is one of the artworks, and because of the fact that it expresses the certain characteristics that she's very well known for. She would always draw these torsos, and she would always, point out that one of her legs was destroyed and her back was destroyed. So her spinal column, she had it damaged in an accident, as well as her leg. She was actually impaled, and she has at the top here, like above the torso, you can see a like the top part of a Roman pillar. And that was one of the iconic images that she would add to her pieces, with her whole philosophy and political philosophy. And it's got a shine to it. So she actually would make this special covering of to kind of varnish on top of the paint. And it was her own personal mix. I think she even used like rabbit urine, and it was maybe a drop of it or something, but it had a lot of symbolism behind it, so it has a shine to it. But it's a verified artwork. It has a certificate of authenticity. It's been verified, and it's something that I was planning on auctioning off on Sotheby's to inject money into the company. Here's the second work. Pause here. Let me explain this work. This is another one of the books that I have. This is also a book on socialism. But basically, what this is a painting of a small girl with a mask on, and she's got a necklace on. This necklace is kind of raised off. Frida actually put something to actually make the necklace pop out, and she made this mask, and she's kind of in this dreary type of background. Frida was in constant pain and suffering. What you can see in the background, there's one of the certificates of authenticity, and you can barely see it here on the bottom left. On the bottom right, it's signed, but since the book is so old already, the signature is kind of, it's hard to see it. You kind of have to see it there, but it is signed by her. It's also a verified work. So these are the two pieces that I have, and they have dramatically gone up in value. I'm going to put back the camera here. You're sharing your screen. Sharing, okay. They have dramatically gone up in value because of the value of Frida Kahlo, and it's something that I think it just makes a lot of sense to do it this way. For me, especially, just because of what Frida Kahlo means to me, being a Mexican myself, what she has always meant for women, and what our mission is with Doc.com. You know, there's so many women that we've helped. I would say more than half of our users were women. Over 60% were women, and because of the needs that women have, and usually women are the ones that take care of health in a family, within a family unit. They're the ones that usually take care of family members and things like that. So it's just a lot of things that I thought, well, connecting these dots makes it pretty interesting. But these are the two pieces that we're going to put into a trust and put them as collateral for this investment that I'm talking about, and offer it to the community, and basically offer a higher conversion price. So that's essentially the what I was planning on doing. I wanted to see feedback from the community and see what everyone thought on this idea. But what we're doing now is we're doing moving mountains to do everything as fast as possible, and to just get everything going. It's a large task, not just because of the development, but because there's a lot of moving components and things to do. But you know, we're also talking about dealing with a lot of healthcare professionals. We have a good set of doctors for the launch. We still have to add more veterinarians. We still have to add more psychologists. That requires, you know, more campaigns towards those types of healthcare professionals. So I think it's a very, very good way to offer a lot of, you know, goodwill towards any new investors, and saying, okay, you know, we believe in this so much that we're willing to put up our collateral just to have access to more liquidity right now, so we can do a bigger launch. You know, no one's playing games here. We're really doing this, and I just want to see it happening, because I want to see people using the services and getting free basic healthcare, because that's really where it all comes together. That's when people get the services and they start saying, wow, this is great, it helped me for the X or Y reason. That's when the mission is, you know, you can start seeing, but it gets fulfilled. And also, I think it's beneficial to take part of that investment and put into Flash Gas. Flash Gas, I think, is with their expansion plan nationwide, if they can speed up their process as well, it'll ultimately benefit Doc.com and our patients as well. So, so that's what the plan is. You know, I think it's. I want to do it quickly, so we're going to put this together today and offer it to the community. But basically, you know, it's a different approach. It's still buying shares in the company. It's still helping us achieve our mission and have a larger awareness campaign and marketing and PR campaigns, but also is a great way to offer investors a security that one would want when making any investment. I have never seen any other companies do something like this. It's even our lawyers were like, wow, this is interesting. You know, I think we can put it together. I had a long call with them yesterday, and they said, yeah, let's put it together. Let's go ahead and do it. They also did ask me, hey, ask your community, what does the community think of this? And I thought, well, I think they would think it was a good idea. But that's basically it. I wanted to start with offering it to the community, saying, okay, we're going to put this in a trust, create the documentation for this. It's still a convertible note. The difference is that the conversion price is higher, and it would be collateralized. And we're looking for people to invest larger amounts. You know, it's we still have to fulfill the listing requirements and have a minimum shareholder base of 300 shareholders. We're already on track for that, but this is more geared towards getting more immediate liquidity right now, so we can just do a bigger launch in these next days to come, and offer investors something that is you know, a lower risk investment in comparison to investing in any other company or endeavor. So I just always think that if there's something that we can add to make it better, make our business model better, make our company better, to increase the speed of reaching the mission faster, then we'll always find that it's always an optimization that we'll always do. Uh, and this is one of them. This is something that occurred to me, and I thought, well, it's just because of the effort that I went through verifying the work, so I could sell them on at Sotheby's, and Sotheby's happily takes them in. Obviously, they make money off of these things; they make their commission, but the process takes a long time. They have auctions every, I think every quarter. They're having one this month, but it's too late for us to put the works into that auction. So the next auction that they have coming up is in May. So I thought, okay, we should be listed way before that. And in the meantime, we can use these artworks as collateral. They can always be sold privately, but it's better for them to actually be used as collateral, because the end goal is still the same end goal, is putting the capital into doc.com so we can have a larger launch and do a lot more marketing and PR. And that's really the end goal. So the end goal is the same. And why not pass that benefit on to the community, to friends and family, people who believe in us and know what we're doing and know the journey that we've been on. So that was the objective. So I think it's better to take this approach and offer this benefit to the community. I just think of my mother a lot, and I think, well, my mother invested her savings into Doc, and I always think, wow, she did it because she believed in me. But I always think of how she's gone about, she has her savings from her job and things like that. And obviously, it's way better if you can offer someone something that has collateral behind it, because it gives you a lot more security as an investor. And I told my mother about it, and she said, wow, where can I invest? And like, please let me invest more. And it just makes it much more attractive, because it's just fundamentally, it's pretty simple. You make an investment. In the worst case scenario, God forbid something bad happened, obviously we don't expect that to happen, but God forbid, there's always the collateral there, and that gives you security. So you say, okay, worst comes to worst, we can recoup the money. And if you look at things that have happened, all these scandals that have happened in the last years, and all the crypto space and all this stuff, you think, wow, so many people put so much of their money and savings into these investments, and they had no security that these things will pan out. And that's the nature of investing. If you do have the opportunity to make that or improve on that model, such as by putting up collateral, well, then it makes it then it changes the whole dynamic of it. And it's something that I think all of you in the community, everyone that's here, some of you have been here for years. I think everyone here deserves to have something like that. Deserves to have that kind of opportunity to do that, because I have always said it. I will never, I'd have to be completely incapacitated or dead to stop. But some people may not understand that. Either way, there's always the goodwill and our whole journey and our whole story, and then there's the numbers, and the numbers are something that is very important as well, moving forwards. And I think doing it like this covers that part. It really offers that additional security of covering everything on the number side, because we are all hardworking people. I'm sure all of you have families and work hard. Some of you are in different stages in life, but it doesn't take away that whatever effort you put in and however you earn your money, and however you make investments, you always want it to be a safer bet. And that's basically what we're doing here. So what I'm reading from the comments is that people are liking the idea. I think it's a good idea. I want to get it to what we're going to do is we're going to put this together today, share that convertible note. It's different from the one we previously shared because the conversion price is different, and this convertible note would have the collateral built into it. And share it, and if you can share it with your friends and family, share it with anyone that has capital that's looking to invest, potentially someone that believes in us. We're looking to have larger tickets here, larger investments, so we can reach our goal faster. And that's why we're putting this collateral up. But basically, it's that's the idea. So basically sharing it, saying, okay, look, the investment is secured by this collateral. It's over collateralized. It's not just the exact amount. There's more than enough collateral to do that, and see how fast we can raise this. See how fast we can raise more liquidity to increase our awareness, gearing up to the listing, and make our launch bigger. So that's what I wanted to talk to everyone about. I'll leave the next 10 minutes open for questions. So if anyone has any more questions on this, please go ahead and ask them. I'm looking at the questions here. I see a question here by Crypto Scotia. Any update on the safe contracts will be processed? Yes, that will be done as soon as this filing is approved. We're sending out those agreements. That's already in line for everyone that came in during the safe. That's already in the plan, so you'll be receiving those. These things have to be done in sequence, but that's already contemplated. So as soon as this Reg A is approved, you'll definitely receive those your new agreements, basically, for all those. I think there was 16 people that came in during the safe. You'll receive your new agreements for that. And so that's short. I think I don't expect the approval to take longer than the next 2 weeks. Let's see if you have any other questions. Would like sharing info on what we're planning. To say the word, my friend. Okay, Quentin is saying if I want to share any things that we're planning. I'll go ahead and comment. I've mentioned what we're planning right now is, in a nutshell, it's doing a lot of marketing and PR. But that encompasses a lot of things. So as you heard in the last AMA last week with Jamie on board, he brought in a lot of celebrity that support our cause, and influencers as well, social media influencers. So there's a really big plan that's already taken care of. We also have some PR that's already planned out, huge PR plans, mainstream media, some TV stuff, some podcast stuff. A lot of that has already been paid for. It's just waiting to come out. But since we had to wait for the SEC filings and things like that to happen, we had to roll these out in line with that. And then the third thing is all the digital marketing aspects, how we're going to measure the conversion rate of when we're putting out an ad and drawing in a user, educating people on free basic healthcare, and having them come in and use our services and buy their prescriptions or buy their over-the-counter products through us. That's a big component. And all of those there's an educated part on the blockchain aspect of it. So, people need to understand that there's the simplest things, like you can speak to a doctor, psychologist, veterinarian at no cost, for 15 minutes, solves basic things, and you can buy your products, your prescription products or over-the-counter products through us. That's the main thing that people have to understand. But also, it's very valuable for us to showcase and educate people on all the blockchain aspects. Hey, you know what? If you participate now, you'll be part of a rewards mechanism down the road. You'll acquire this cryptocurrency, or there's blockchain hashes every time there's a consultation, and there's blockchain hashes every time there's a product sold. Those are very important things. And I think we will be the vehicle to educate people on blockchain technology in general. So those are interesting things. And I don't know if people saw, but Gary Gensler, the director of the SEC, recently posted, he congratulated Satoshi Nakamoto on the creation of the Bitcoin white paper. which I thought was pretty cool. But one of the things that he did mention in there is he kind of said, well, if you're looking to do something in the crypto space, make sure that you do it under a compliant structure. And I thought, wow, it's funny that this comes out, that he makes this post just recently when I've been talking about this the whole time. If you're trying to do something good and well structured and transparent, it's not an easy task, and it has its ups and downs. But the main thing is we want to do it under a compliant structure. We want to do it in a way that makes people that gives them the security that we're doing it the right way, and it is doing it under a compliant structure. So all our blockchain components that are, where there's an actual distribution of any token, if we decide to create a new one, or, anything related to distribution of any tokens must be done in the compliance structure. So we have to wait for doing that after we're already listed. And that's what we plan on doing. I've mentioned it many, many times before. And that aspect, so there's no weird things happening, has to be done under the LifeChain Foundation. The foundation must run the actual rules behind that. Doc.com as a company will always be generating new hashes and increasing the utility, but the actual management of MTC itself has to be done through the LifeChain Foundation because of the nature of what it is, and the decentralized aspect of it. But either way, whatever we execute as Doc.com must be done under compliance structure. And it's very coincidental that Gary Gensler posted that today. If you haven't seen that message that he posted, just look up something like Bitcoin Gary Gensler. You'll see it. I think it was just yesterday that he posted it. Pretty interesting comment there. It's very in line with what I've been talking about. So Quinten has a really nice strategy that she built with her team on marketing and educating people on the blockchain aspect of it, and that's basically what she built out, so we can promote that aspect of Doc.com as well. Let's see. Green is asking, can you provide an update regarding the 300 million deal? Is that sealed and ready to be included in the next filing? Well, right now what we have is a non-binding term sheet. We have gone through the main aspects of the main the long form document is what they call. Basically, that's pretty much wrapped up. As soon as that is signed, it's in line with what I've been talking about. Essentially, it'll be updated in our next filing, and yes, it'll be included in the next filing. It's one of the main things that's going to be included in the next filing. So the short answer to that is yes. It's all been negotiated, and there were just basically the legal team is getting the last pieces of that wrapped up, but it will definitely be included in the next filing. What is next is signing long form agreement and including the next filing. So that's where we're at right now with that. But yes, definitely it's something that I've been working on for a while now. Let's see. We have 5 minutes left. So if anyone has any more comments, I'm trying to scroll up down here and seeing previous comments. All right. There's some other things that'll be kicking up again. I think there's new. They're almost done with the market making aspects for BitTrue, so that's something that should be done in the next 5 days. Okay, I think people have had a success with the right signature link that we've shared, and so I think that's pretty good. What is the maximum amount of weeks the SEC can take to approve the current filing? That's a good question. So usually on average, based on what our lawyers have told us, it takes to get a 1A approved, to get a Reg A approved, it takes on average from 1 to 3 months, or well, in our case, because of the way we did it, they said it would take from a month to a month and a half to get approved. we received feedback very quickly. I think this will be the 4th week since we filed. So we already got feedback just recently, just yesterday, we got feedback from the SEC, and there was 4 things that they asked for clarification on. So that's a really good sign. It means that we had everything very complete. And that was what our legal team had said. They said, we expect this to be approved very quickly because of the fact that it's so complete. The things that they were asked about were just very, basic things like, oh, can you explain to us, where your how you plan on using a third-party billing company and how that actually is executed. Things that are more kind of just explaining more in detail certain aspects of how we plan on executing payments. So those are things that we'll be responding on today. After that, we submit those responses, and we should have feedback from them shortly. We don't expect it to be much longer. Our lawyers said it was, our legal team said it was just very normal, and it was very positive, the feedback that we got. So we should be quickly approved. Hopefully it'll take less than the next 2 weeks. But we're still within the time frame that I originally had set, that it could take a month to month and a half, and it looks like it's nearing more the month timeline. It'll be after this next week. I think it'll be 4 weeks, or it'll be a month, but basically it should be approved soon. Let's see. What do the SEC say about the KuCoin tokens? Well, it's very important to take into consideration the following. Doc.com Inc. is a new company that is, we created it in 2021. And everything related to the blockchain, everything related to MTC is being taken on by LifeChain Foundation. So there's no real involvement with the SEC in regards to the KuCoin or anything like that. That's all part of the past. So the LifeChain Foundation takes on the role of managing MTC, and essentially what Doc.com is doing is hashing consultations, hashing product sales, and providing a rewards mechanism with MTC for patients. That essentially creates a crypto economy. So because of all the chaos that happened in the crypto space that we all know about, it was very important that we had to separate those two things. And I've explained this, I think I've explained this multiple times over the course of the past year, that we're going to do this way. And that was geared and it was designed so we could do this under compliance structure and focus on the mission that we've always had to ensuring that happens. Now, if we were to mint a new token, for example, then we would have to disclose that to the SEC, which is one of the main reasons why we haven't done this. Now, it's not to say that we won't do it. We may do it, but we still have to do it under compliance structure, and that's doing it as a public company. And that's basically what it comes down to. If we want this to work correctly and do it under a regulatory environment that will allow us to grow and to grow all the blockchain aspect of it. So there's really there's no need for them to because it's a new business model under a new company, and the way MTC is being managed now is being done to the foundation, and it's outside of the US as well. So LifeChain Foundation is being set up in the UK, which has different laws for the crypto space and different laws for anything that's blockchain related. They have comprehensive regulation already, and it's not the case in the US. The US has different regulation. They don't even have any regulation that's been firmly established for anything that's crypto related. So that's why there's all this chaos. We are ultimately a healthcare technology company. Some people may think, oh, there's blockchain and crypto related to what they're doing. Yes, that's true, because there's a huge benefit in using blockchain for transparency. But we're still a healthcare technology company above anything else. And so, we want to do this under compliance structure, and adding the blockchain component hashing, doing things very differently from what other companies in the world do. That gives us a unique competitive advantage, I think, and it's something that's a very positive thing. It's something that adds value, but we also have to showcase it in the right way. And setting forwards or moving forwards with this new plan that we've been executing now has been, I think, probably one of the best decisions that we made, so we can do this well, and everyone that holds MTC will benefit. Anyone that believes in our mission will benefit. If this is done the right way, and this is the right way to do it. We don't want to run into any issues down the road because of our blockchain component. What we want to do is showcase it as something that's a blessing for us as a company because of the transparency aspect, and also it's something that's great for our patients and our user base. And the way to do that is to do it how we're doing it right now and executing it under a compliance structure. So there's no mention of that, because what we're focused on with our filings is ensuring that the fundamentals are in place, the business model works. It doesn't matter if there's a token or if there's a blockchain component. If there's no real users, all of that is just hype. We don't want that to happen. We want people to actually use our services like they have in the past. We want people to use our new business model, to see the benefit in that, and then say, wow, this is a great new innovation, having this hashed on the blockchain. Why don't other companies do this? Why isn't there a crypto economy or a loyalty program that uses the virtues of blockchain technology and the virtues and takes advantage of the reach of blockchain technology? And we want to be that example. And the best way to do that is through a compliant structure and doing it as a public company. So, there's no real need for them to comment on that, because it's not related at this stage yet. When is marketing and PR campaign going to start? Well, it already started. What we were trying to do now is ramp it up in a huge way. So we already had some articles come out. I think I posted the USA Today article. There's another article that came out, Business Insider, I think, that came out. We posted both of those. I've gotten great feedback from those. Like I said, they reached out from New York Magazine recently, but we were really going to start pushing this out, because right now the marketing PR is going to be focused on the launch and bringing in more users. So when is the service launch expected? Well, any day now. I mean, basically, we have everything set. What I want to do is I want to ensure that we have a really strong launch. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing this right now, while we're offering this opportunity through a convertible note that has collateral, so we can make it a bigger launch. If not, we would launch with just our baseline doctors, which still would serve people. But I think considering what we're targeting for listing price and our growth numbers, we definitely want to do this as big as we can leading up to the listing. So if we have good results from this effort right now, we could be launched in the next matter of days, basically, which is what we're planning on doing right now. We have the responses from the SEC already. We're responding to that, and we will be shortly done with that. So our focus is really right now towards doing the launch as soon as possible, and just executing on the next stage of marketing and PR efforts. All right, everyone. I will be sharing the link to this new convertible note that's collateralized. I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm going to tell the legal team that we had great feedback. If anyone has any additional suggestions or anything, please let us know. I think the objective is clear, and this is a very unique kind of thing, but it's also, I think, very beneficial. And thinking outside of the box sometimes makes all the difference. So I appreciate everyone's time as usual. Coming in and announcing these AMAs one day before. We're still going to keep up the weekly AMAs on Fridays, so look forward to that. To tomorrow is Friday, so I'll still be doing an AMA tomorrow. But basically this is what I wanted to talk about today and see the community's feedback on it. And I thank you everyone so much for being here and giving your signs of support and comments and suggestions. And we will be pushing forwards. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Have an excellent rest of your day, and I hope everyone is well. Stay safe.